And we're live. What's happening, everybody? Hopefully, everybody had a great Friday night playing some MLB DFS. We are back with two sports today. The NBA is here with a three-game slate for us to dissect. Now, we don't have a ton to talk about today, right? Like, we went over this slate just a couple of days ago. We've had some minor changes, so I'm going to switch up the picks on a couple of them, stay exactly the same, and a couple others is just a little bit of a refresher of what we talked about the other day. But again, most of you guys 3 days ago or whatever it was, we spent the day dissecting the slate, so we should be pretty much well up and running. With some subtle little changes like Dame leaving the bubble, Russell Westbrook is playing today, but outside of that, not a lot to review. All right, guys. One thing I want to mention is we always mention show sponsor Overlay DFS over here. They got baseball contests up and running. They got NBA contests up and running. I'll do a quick NBA video after this. But one of the things we mentioned a lot of times is the customer service they offered. So yesterday, with the Athletics in Houston game not playing out, a lot of their picks not being up there, all winners have been paid and all loser refunds have been issued for the baseball tournament. So for like me, I picked heavy on that game. And so those contests weren't applicable. So they paid the winners, but still refunded me, even though I wasn't one of them. And that goes for all other customers. So that's kind of customer service that they're trying to push over at Overlay. The name of the website is overlaydfs.com. Give it a little look scheme. All right, let's move over to DK for the day. Got ourselves a three-gamer today. Couple elimination games should be interesting to watch. All right, guys. NFL package is up for sale. Day passes. Anybody who purchases a day pass, it's $5. You get both sports of the day, video and physical write-up. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Thumbs up is appreciated. I'm going to go right back to a guy that we mentioned the other day, Mario Hezonja of the Portland Trailblazers. So quite frankly, the Trailblazers are in a bad place today, right? Not only is Dame not playing because of injury, like dude's out of the bubble, season's over. You know, what do you expect out of him today? I know Bellman and I have gone back and forth on, you know, games where teams are missing their star and how hard do you think that they're going to fight. A lot of times I agree with him. Today, I actually don't know his opinion on this one. I think to me, it's a little different when is it just Lillard's out for a game and can you make hay? Or like knowing that your best player by a good margin left the bubble and like the season's over. I personally don't expect a ton from the Portland Trailblazers today. I think it's a good spot for LA just to kind of put their foot down and just end the series and get on to the next one. So for me, I'm not overly interested in a ton from this game. The guy I do feel that you can take a chance on in GPPs for sure, and probably even cash games is going to be Mario Hezonja. They are very undermanned on Portland. We already know Zach Collins is out. You know, Dame is out. Um, they're trying to play Whiteside and Nurkic together, which just really doesn't work if you think about it. So I think Hezonja at 3,500 gets a decent run in this game. One by necessity, two even more so if this game is a little bit of a blowout. And we've seen him with good games in the past, right? And we've seen him be a complete letdown when he's absolute chalk before. So I don't think he's a necessity, but at 3,500, if you're trying to finish off your lineup, I can see playing him at the small forward position for only 3,500. All right. Moving along from there, let's talk about Dennis the Menace. We covered this guy the other day. Not a lot different stuff to go over, but Dennis Schroder has played excellent the last couple of games. I think we've got ourselves a series here. We got Russ back today. Doesn't really, in my opinion, affect Dennis Schroder too much. He's been making his three-pointers over the last couple of games, 8 of 21 from three. He's been extremely aggressive. And OKC, I mean, with their three little-headed monster of guards right there with Dennis, Shine, and CP3, they're all in play. But I like the potential upside and value of Dennis at only 6,400 today in a game which, by my best guess, is most likely to be the most competitive game on the slate today. All right, next up. So the days off, Milwaukee had been starting to gel a little bit prior to this, and you had seen Middleton and Bledsoe and Lopez play with a little bit more consistency. But with a couple days off like this, and knowing that we now have LeBron and AD in a situation where that game, it's just not set up very well for Portland. And now we got Russ eating into Harden a little bit. I think to me, this just makes Giannis a higher priority for me. Is it possible the Bucks roll here? Sure. It certainly is. I mean, it's possible anybody rolls today, but I can't picture the Blazers rolling, but you get the point. I just think it's hard for me not to just lock in Giannis with the safe, dependable points. He scores in blowouts. It's usually a lot to do with him. And if that is a thing, the Bucks often are pretty good at letting teams back into it so he doesn't lose his total fourth quarter run. I guess for me, when it comes to studs, though, I just find him to be the safest of the bunch. I could picture AD front running in a game like this. Harden, maybe he's even better with Russ back as possible, or maybe Russ is really good in his first game back. But if I'm looking for a stud, I feel the safest with Giannis. And I'm sure I'm probably not alone on this one. I'm sure he'll be very, very popular today, would be my guess. But this is definitely a spot where I want to get Giannis back into my main lineup, take the 60 points, and just move on. All right, last up, same game, other side of the equation. Take a look at Gary Clark of the Orlando Magic. Dude's got forward and center eligibility. We've watched my boy DJ and Fultz kind of go a little bit up and down. Ennis has had his moments, but throughout the series, the top paydown option for the Orlando Magic, as far as consistency goes, has been Gary Clark. Again, forward and center eligibility. I don't look at this guy as a must. It's very unlikely to me he breaks the slate if you don't play him, but he definitely helps you get Giannis into your lineup. And he's been very reliable. Shoots the three ball with decent efficiency. Does enough other things on the court to pay off his $4,200 salary. I don't see a game script where he doesn't see his minutes. He's more likely to stay out there under any circumstance. Orlando's really shorthanded at the forward position, so he's almost stuck in a situation where he has to play. And even if things get weird or lopsided today, he's a young guy that I bet you the Orlando is trying to get as much of a read on him as they can. Is this the guy that we want around next year when we get Aminu and Jonathan Isaac and Aaron Gordon back? Does he have a spot on our roster? So I expect him to see his normal allotment of minutes today. So check out Gary Clark for 4,200. That's what I got today for fellas. I will talk about overlaying a little bit. Appreciate y'all watching. Have yourselves a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you momentarily.